Welcome back. Joined now by Sal Farfan, who is the president of the committee of 300, the Redcoats that help make this race happen each year. Sal, welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me.
People who go to the race notice that in every grandstand, there are members of the committee of 300 that assist in taking tickets, seating them, and you guys were part of this race from the very beginning.
From day one, yeah. This will be our 37th year helping out.
And you're the president, and you have a group of dedicated volunteers that do more than just seat people. It gives it a real hometown quality.
You know, we like you said, our primary function is to help out in the seating, but we're also the ambassadors not only to what goes on the race, but to Long Beach. If people want to know where to eat, what to do after the concert, we're there to help out.
And you do other activities throughout the year. It's not just the race that the committee's involved in.
Absolutely, yeah. The race, of course, is the primary function of our existence.
Yeah.
But the rest of the year, we volunteer throughout the city. We have this year, our board of directors made a great decision and helped with different community service
Wonderful.
events.
Well, Jim, it's nice to have 300 volunteers that you don't have to pay. I'd love that here in the show.
Well, that's part of it, but quite frankly, their attitude and their professionalism is really key to how well they represent not just the Grand Prix, but the city, and they really are ambassadors. And I think you got to give credit to Sal and his leadership group this year, because they have extended themselves in some additional areas in terms of not only helping out in the community, but also giving visibility to the committee. And I think that's very important, because they do play a very fundamental role, not only for our success, but I think for a number of other events in the city as well.
Now, one special event that the committee's involved in, one of my favorites, is the Paddock Club. Tell us about the Paddock Club.
Well, the Paddock Club is a hospitality area. It's located right by the hairpin turn 11. And we have breakfast, lunch, and live entertainment. And this year, thanks to Jim's leadership and support, we also have quite a fan experience with drivers coming through and the Grand Prix court as well.
Okay, let me cut to the chase. If you want a fun place to watch the race, the Paddock Club is one of the prime areas on the track. And they're open all 3 days of the race, Friday through Sunday, but you can buy individual ticket days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And for example, if you're just going to go on Sunday, you can buy a package that includes a ticket to the race, entrance to the Paddock Club, breakfast and lunch. They always have great bands there, and it's a place to hang out outdoors. And how much is that Sunday ticket, Sal?
It's $289. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
For the
Sunday
weekend?
only, yeah, for the weekend it's $289 for a 3-day package. Sunday only is $150.
Okay, we'll put the numbers up at the end of the segment, but that's an important fundraiser for your group, and it's a great experience for those that attend.
Absolutely, yeah, it's what really generates the funds for us to operate the rest of the year.
Now, Sal, you've been active in many things in the community, and I know it takes a lot of time to be president. Tell us a little bit about your experiences as president of this committee of 300.
It's been quite an experience, a learning experience. Obviously, we had a very supportive board that helped out. As I mentioned earlier, we wanted to really emphasize the community service aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I've been really pleased with that.
And they've adopted the park, Veterans Park, which is right across, literally across the street from our offices, which are at Spring and Pacific, and once a month they do a cleanup there, and I think that's just another indication of their community involvement and their civic activity as far as the committee is concerned.
Okay, well, we're going to put up the telephone number now. If you want to purchase a one-day ticket or a 3-day ticket for the Paddock Club, you can call them up at 562-981-9200. We'll put that numbers up now. And Sal, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you at the race.
Thank you for having me again.
We'll be continuing our discussion with the Chief, Jim Michaelian, after these messages. Continuing our conversation with the incomparable Jim Michaelian. Jim, your race is an economic engine for this community.
Well, we really positioned it that way from the very beginning. Obviously, one of the reasons why the City of Long Beach gave us the opportunity to conduct this event was the economic impact, the exposure, which we talked about in terms of television coverage, media coverage, bylines that are filed from the event, and the general esprit de corps that comes about because the city realizes they can conduct big major events. And you've seen a number of other activities come into town over the years with regard to the swimming Olympic swim trials. We've had the marathon has come in and performed tremendously over the years, and we had the Red Bull Spectacular on New Year's Eve a couple years ago.
Great city for these special events.
The city has a reputation for being able to.
We know how to throw a party.
Exactly,
and yours,
we're a part of that.
I have called this many years the ultimate party.
Right.
It's the ultimate spring break.
But in this time and with this economic climate, it's important to realize that there are certain benefits that accrue from hosting these kinds of events.
And I know that studies have been done that have quantified the dollars to the city based on hotel, restaurants, all that.
Right.
Give us a sense of that.
Right. We haven't done a full economic impact study for a number of years, but the last time we did it, it was in the area of about $22 to $23 million. And obviously with inflation, and the other thing that's happened over the years is the Long Beach infrastructure has really grown out so that there's much more in terms of accommodations at and around the city, in the city of Long Beach. So as a result of that, people aren't staying in Los Angeles or Beverly Hills or Orange County. They're staying here in Long Beach. So the benefits have accrued to a greater degree, so that now it's projected that we're somewhere in the neighborhood of about a $35 million economic impact. But equally important, I think, is the fact that there are over 6,000 jobs that are supported by the event. Now, obviously, most of those are of temporary nature, but nevertheless, a study by Cal State Long Beach back in 2006 had indicated that there were around 6,000 jobs that were associated with the activities.
And I know clubs at school where I teach raise money by manning those booths, and they raise money for their various causes.
Absolutely, and we're very aggressive, and so is SMG, who are the concession operators down at the convention center, in terms of employing various nonprofit groups that can come, work, and the benefits of their activities accrue back to their organizations.
Say a word about sponsorship relationships, because I know that key to the economics of this whole race is not just the ticket sales, but these enduring sponsorship relationships. And of course, your title sponsor, Toyota, has been with you forever. And I think you once mentioned this is the longest standing relationship in sports.
The longest sports relationship between a commercial company and a sporting endeavor, we believe, is the Toyota Grand Prix and the Toyota and the Grand Prix Association.
And you've added other important sponsors like Tecate, and of course you mentioned the port.
Along with Firestone, Port of Long Beach, Coca-Cola, and a variety of other companies come on board. And one of the things we tried to do in the past and still continue to do is assign these sponsors to long-term agreements so that we can sort of bridge some of these economic turbulent periods such as we had in 08 and 09. So a lot of our sponsors were 3 and 4 year on 3 and 4 year contracts. So as a consequence of that, why we were able to maintain those levels of sponsorship over those tough years.
And they use it not just for the visibility of their signage with the TV shots and the bridges, but they use it for hospitality, entertaining. They get favored treatment at the track. They can entertain their dealers, their customers.
Right. But one of the keys now, especially in this climate, is pre-promotional activities, because what they're really looking to do is how do we sell product or how do we provide services. So while they activate in market around this event, prior to the 2 to 3 weeks out, whether it's a ticket promotion or whether it's an incentive buy to come in and utilize their services or buy their products, that's really what helps to deliver those sponsorships to us.
And you've branded the race so successfully that people at companies of that level, you mentioned Coca-Cola and the port and all, want to be associated with it.
Well, if you want to be in the Southern California market in the springtime and you want to have that kind of coverage for all of that territorial area, think about it. I mean, the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach can deliver that to you. So your alignment with a major event like that affords them the opportunity to engage in these kind of promotional activities.
And I know some sponsors started small and found it so successful. I think of Tecate, and really enlarged their buy.
And Tecate is a prime example. Tecate really measures the value of their sponsorship, not just from exposure and recognition, but how much product they sell. And that's really one of the keys, both pre-event.
Well, they're
in the
selling a
store
lot of it at your race, I can tell you
at
that.
the race event. And you know, when we have weather like we had last year when it was 73, 74 degrees, ideal temperatures to run in the race, they had a very successful
And
weekend.
the Takati girls are everywhere. People are having their pictures taken with them.
And we have no problems with that either.
Finally, what would you like to say? You've been with the race for 37 years. You've been running it for 10 years. And I know that you yourself, you were down in Daytona in the 24 hours race. You do race yourself, so you're professionally doing something that you personally love.
Well, you know, it's that old saying, you know, if you're doing something you love, you don't even have to think about going to work. It's just fun all the time. And it really has been a privilege for me personally to be involved in an event. You know, Chris Pook started it way back in 1974 and 75. I had the opportunity to come on board in those early days. Yes, there were some tough times there the first 3 or 4 years, but the event has obviously accelerated into a much more successful mode. And I feel really privileged just to be able to come and participate in this.
What's impressed me, Jim, is that you continue to build value each year into the race. You find each year, and we've gone through some tough times, needless to say, but you find a way to survive those tough times and continue to build value into the weekend package.
Well, in many ways, our real challenge is we look at our event and say, if I was going to this event, what would I like to see? What would I like to see added? What elements are there that I go to other events and see and go, you know what, let's see how we could apply that here. And that's what really makes this successful, because it's refreshed every year as we go along.
Okay, if you haven't, most of you have been to the race, but if you haven't been to the race, this would be a good opportunity this race weekend, April 15th through the 17th, to have your first race experience. And if you want to dip your toe in the water, going on Fridays, the whole track is open. It's much less cost, and that's a way to get a sense of it. And you might decide that you might want to stay for the whole weekend. But in any event, the Toyota Grand Prix 37th Annual is coming up. Be there or be square. We'll be back with the remaining portions of our show after these messages.
Welcome to McKenna's on the Bay, where fine dining is complemented with a breathtaking view. McKenna's is a restaurant of incredible ambiance, providing service and cuisine with style, class, and romance. The menu offers a variety of appetizers, serious seafood, prime steaks, an oyster bar, and specialty entrees for either lunch or dinner. McKenna's on the Bay features patio dining, nightly entertainment, and 2 banquet facilities. No matter what your occasion, McKenna's on the Bay is like being on vacation. Join us today at McKenna's on the Bay.
Founded in 1976, Polly's Gourmet Coffee is Southern California's most complete gourmet coffee store. Polly's has the best tasting coffee, freshly roasted every day right in the store, plus a wide selection of teas, an in-house bakery, espresso bar, patio dining, and more. We also offer Wi-Fi, free internet access for all of our customers. Our nationwide clientele agree, when it comes to coffee, there's only one name to remember: Polly's. 4606 East 2nd Street, welcoming you into Belmont Shore.
The Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach is one of the premier events of our city. It showcases our city throughout the country, throughout the world, and it has enormous economic impact, as Jim mentioned earlier. So we're very proud to have this race. No one better to put this event together than our guest, Jim Michaelian, who's been doing it so well for 37 years. And they also provide a charity ball, charity golf club, so they raise money for some worthwhile causes. So it's a win-win for everybody.
The foundation is a very important dimension of our activities, and as you said, they've distributed typically over $100,000 every year into the local charities, which benefit a number of smaller groups who probably would be looking for those kinds of sums from other sources, and the foundation is very adept at being able to distribute those sums each year.
Well, Jim, we wish you well and every continued success with the 37th annual running of the race. Break a leg, as we say in show business, and we'll see you at the track.
Hope to see you out there too, Art, and have a good time.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Please join us next week for the next edition of Straight Talk. Good night, everyone.
Straight Talk has been brought to you by Southern California Edison, the Press Telegram, and remember, Straight Talk is viewable worldwide 24/7 at straighttalktv.com.